So I want to talk about the nature of perspective, right? So there's all kinds of perspectives, right? We're multi-dimensional creatures. Does that sound weird that we're multi-dimensional? I don't mean that you can walk through walls. I just mean that we have dimensions of space, right? 3 dimensions of space. We have dimensions of time. There's dimensions like love and hate. Those are dimensions of human experience, and we have all kinds of dimensions. But there's a very specific kind of dimensions that I want to talk about, which is, and you guys know this, the broader perspective and the narrow perspective, the limited perspective. And those are the 2 important ones to take. Whenever you're feeling negative emotion, whenever you're sort of locked into what's going on, would you say that you're in a broader perspective or a limited perspective?
Yeah, limited. Well, Tonia's example was the best. I mean, because when you were talking about it, she became an observer of what was going on. So she got a bit of distance from it, and so you had a different perspective. Instead of just being the one who's reacting, you're actually watching the one who's reacting, and that helped, right? Mm-hmm.
I really like that. Yeah, I certainly... What you're saying is absolutely on. And I wouldn't want to imply that one perspective is the good one and one perspective is the bad one. Even a broad perspective can, look, if you're interested in global warming, you have a broad perspective and it doesn't fill you with optimism. But so you're absolutely right there. So it's not the perspective that makes us feel a certain way, right? It's our judging of our perspective.
Yeah, but we're talking about different levels of broader perspective and narrow perspective. I guess we're talking like if we are thinking over future, so like linear thing, right. It's more like a broader perspective. I think that's what you're referring to. But when I hear broader perspective, for me it's more like a vertical thing, even though we shouldn't limit ourselves to this, just to explain. So I kind of see it from far away, from I don't know, from somewhere up high there, up there, yeah. So see, okay, let's say I'm in my negative emotion right now, I cannot find something, I've lost something. The broader perspective will be, how much I'm going to need that wallet or something tomorrow because I have an event where I have to use it or something like that. But my broader perspective will be like, it's just a thing, it's just a wallet, it's just the money, human made, there's a universe out there. So that's going to help me calm down instantly because that wallet will be... won't be important anymore, as I saw it just a minute ago.
I like that. So when I hear that sort of, and we'll get to willpower, but it seems like a perspective is sort of a choice. It's like the first choice you make, right? After awareness, it's how am I going to choose to view the situation, as opposed to what is the situation, which is sort of disconnecting you from having any power or control, right? Mm-hmm. So I say, this is what I believe, and you can disagree with me if you want, but I think that there's no end to how broad your perspective can go. I think if you go broad and you're not good yet, you haven't gone further enough. Because, I hate saying this because I never know who I'm talking to, ultimately, the greatest perspective is that everything's all right. Okay, don't worry, we're all going to die.
Yeah, that's what I was referring to.
That's right, exactly. And unless you have a perspective of death, that's different. Ultimately, nothing really matters. The only thing that matters is what you choose to matter. So whenever something goes wrong for me, I just go further back. And if I go further back and it doesn't feel good, I just keep going further back until I get to that sort of Zen point, that 0 point that says, okay, ultimately it doesn't matter. Then I try to find my way back to where life does matter, because, come on, if you live a life where nothing matters, it's a nihilistic point of view. So I just keep going further back. I call it the God perspective. You say universe.
I would say, or choose a perspective that feels the best to you.
At that
like I wouldn't necessarily say to everybody go broader and broader, because not everybody sort of enjoys that concept. And so I would say choose the perspective that really makes you feel good in that moment. Whatever sort of calms you down, makes you feel positive, makes you feel relieved, then choose that, because not everybody wants to see the world in that way.
That's great. Yeah, that's great. And that's why awareness is important, right? Once you become aware, then you can see the spectrum of choice that you have when it comes to perspective, and then you choose the one that suits you. Look, when I'm making love to my wonderful lady, I want to be as narrow. I don't want to be broad. I want to be like, this is happening right now. It's very fun, right? And so when you're at a movie theater and you sort of suspend your disbelief, you get absorbed. You ever leave a movie theater and you cried or you felt something and you're like, wow, that just lights on the screen and it made me feel that way. Well, it's good to be fooled. It's good to sort of choose a perspective that can create an illusion that can give you an experience. But there's some times where 3 days later, you're still thinking about that movie, and you're going, oh, maybe I can let it go now.
I think Sam's point deserves reiterating because I think it's a very, very good point.
I thought I made
and
a good
perhaps
point.
you're looking the same way.